Welcome back to the Cardinal Report. This week's correspondent is junior Holly Roadruck, who will take us inside the Cardinal Corner.
Hi, I'm Holly Roadruck. I'm a junior from North Central College, and I'm transferred from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer, Indiana. I'm going to introduce you to some of the girls on the girls' softball team and get you to know us a little bit better. I'm here with Katie Papa. She's our third baseman here, and as for right now, she is our Dorothy of the team as the mannequin. So, Katie Papa, how did you come across this mannequin head?
Well, it was my best friend's back in high school, so I stole it from her out of the closet. And as a joke, I put it on my coach's doorstep at 3 in the morning.
This past weekend, we pulled a little prank on our Coach K and Coach Marcy. How did Coach K and Coach Marcy react to Dorothy?
Well, Coach K, he wasn't very impressed. He's like, "What is this?" And Coach Marcy kind of had more of a reaction. I can't really say what it was on TV, though.
I'm with Laura Constein. She's a sophomore on the team, and she's our catcher. And sometimes on the road, we get a little bored, and we talk about our favorite words. Laura, what's your favorite word?
Right now, I like snack and lunch. Love those words. You have to say it just right, though. You have to say it just right.
Mary, what was your first impression of Coach K?
I was terrified. I'm not even going to lie. I thought that he was probably the shortest, scariest person I've ever met in my life.
What was one of your favorite memories so far of him reacting to one of our losses?
I don't remember specifics, but I just remember that he was foaming at the mouth a little bit, and that was kind of terrifying.
I'm with Samantha Bloomfield. She's our outfield first baseman. One word that we've been making fun of her about is that she's been called Tammy. Why have you been called Tammy?
One day after practice, me and Alyssa Riverlinsky were talking, and we kept saying yeah. And when we say yeah in our team, we have to do 10 push-ups. So he told Alyssa she had to do 10, and Alyssa said I wasn't the only one that said, so I said I did too. And he was like, okay, 10 for Tammy, and that kind of just stuck with everybody. So now I'm Tammy.
What happens to us if we lose a game and we have to drive home?
We're not allowed to talk, listen to iPods. Basically, we just sit there and reflect on the games, which sometimes gets very hard to do when we're 3 hours away.
So there's a thing on the team that we all pretend to fly, and we say 3, 2, 1, blast off! I hope you enjoyed getting to know the softball girls here at North Central. Come out again Saturday with our home game against Augustana and see us defeat Augie. So thanks so much for watching us. I'm Holly Roadruck.
We welcome on North Central College Sports Information Director Clark Teuscher for this brief timeout. Clark, the track teams were at the Wheaton Twilight Invitational this past week. Well, that brings in some top-notch competition from around the D3. Let's start with the men. They had 5 first-place finishes, 4 provisional qualifying marks, and they finished in second behind University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh.
Yeah, it's not a terribly big meet in terms of the number of teams, but the ones that they have are all pretty legitimate programs. Wisconsin-Oshkosh came into the meet ranked 8th in the country, and North Central was ranked 3rd, but those rankings aren't always indicative of how a team will perform in a large invitational, so it's not something you really call an upset at this point.
And then the women's team, they finished 5th. They recorded 5 provisional qualifying performances. You know, right now, is it just kind of those girls kind of trying to peak towards the end of the season?
I think both the men's and the women's teams are trying to do that. I think you'll see a few more provisional and automatic marks once we get toward the end of the season in the national championships and the athletes that participate at the Drake Relays this weekend as well.
And another strong performance by the women pole vaulters. And Yvonne Palmer, she finished in the top 6. She's a senior. She cleared 11.6.
Yeah, I think all the women's pole vaulters improved their marks from the previous couple of weeks. Yvonne's been one of those vaulters who's been kind of on the fringe of the national scene for a while now, so it was good to see her get on the board with the provisional qualifiers. And Rachel Seacrest actually missed the automatic qualifier by 1 centimeter. I don't quite know why they set the bar 1 centimeter below the automatic, but she shouldn't have any problem getting in now after that. 1
centimeter, wow. On to the baseball team. Saturday, the Cardinals swept Milliken at home 8-6 and 11-3. Sunday, the game was suspended in the 7th inning, 12-12 tie.
Yeah, they had a little bit of everything this weekend. They had a close win in the first game against Milliken, then they had another win by a pretty comfortable margin. They were trailing 12-3 heading into the 7th inning. They were just about to call the game. They decided to let them finish the inning. They scored 9 runs to force a tie. And since it's a conference game, they want to go ahead and finish that. So I think they're going to try and play the remainder of that next Sunday after we're done playing Carthage.
They got 3 games versus Carthage, 3 games versus North Park. That's all that remains in the CCIW. North Central right now, they're in 5th place, 6-8-1 record. Augustana, they're in 4th. They have an 8-6 record. Pretty important games coming up.
Yeah, I mean, that 4th spot is the last spot in the conference tournament. Carthage is at the top of the conference and has been for quite some time. The North Park series is going to be huge because that's another team that is pretty comparable to North Central in terms of the standings. So they've got a lot of big games coming up. The one with Milliken is also, that's a pretty key one to come out with a victory there.
Yeah. Carthage, they got a 12-1 record. Let's move over to golf. And I know we haven't spoke much about golf in the spring, but the men's team, they're sitting at 4th at the CCIW after 36 holes. And Joshua Bratner, he leads the North Central team.
Yeah, they're trying to finish in the top half for the first time since, I believe, 1998 for that program. Before Coach Krumloff took over the program last year, they had finished last, I think, the previous 2 or 3 years. And last year they finished 5th. Josh typically isn't the #1 golfer on the team. He's probably the 4 or 5 slot for the team. Had a really good 36 holes to start the tournament. They had 2 guys shoot 70 the second day. A lot of guys went low that day, though. So they're in a pretty good position heading into the final 2 rounds, May 1st and 2nd.
In the women's team, they had a 9th place finish at the Milliken University Spring Classic. Mallory Carr and Alyssa Gaudio leading the charge.
Yeah, both of them had their best 18-hole rounds of the whole season, and Mallory actually had her best 36-hole round of the year, counting all the fall scores and the spring scores. So they took advantage of some good conditions at that course, and it really went low.
Clark, thanks again. Tune in next week as we take a look at the baseball team's big Sunday matchup with Carthage College. NCTV 17 is always keeping you connected with your area sports scene. I'm Jeff Mahoney. See you next time on your community television leader, Channel 17. Go Cardinals.